What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be trying out the #1 rated team on pvpoke.com, which is Charizard, Cobalion, and Giratina Altered. Cobalion is new to my roster. I've been hoarding some rare candy in order to power this thing up at the right time, and the Ultra League is where it excels. So if you guys have this hidden in your storage somewhere, bring it out. This Pokemon is incredibly strong. We're also pairing it with Charizard with Wing Attack and Blast Burn, and Giratina Altered, which is always solid. Alright, getting into the first battle here. Now, I had kind of back and forth sets with this team, 3 2s, 2 3s, just trying to get adjusted to the Ultra League, but I definitely saw a lot of potential with this team. So let me know how you guys do, if you guys did really well, really bad. Let me know, but I think all 3 Pokemon overall are strong in the Ultra League, and combined, they can be very deadly. Now, we have Giratina Altered here on the lead. We don't have the best answer for it, so what we're just going to look to do is just go straight for Dragon Claws. What I also noticed is Giratina Altereds typically had Steel-type Pokemon in the back, Cobalion being the #1 most common, and usually like Registeels back there as well if people had them. So I'm just going to go ahead and stand and go straight Dragon Claws in this situation just to lower it down, but they do make a good safe swap into their own Cobalion, so I'm going to go ahead and come in with Giratina Altered. Now, I decided to put on Ancient Power. I think Giratina Altered really wants Shadow Sneak overall to do better against the Cobalion here in the mid game, but I went for Ancient Power because, first of all, I love booming Charizards with it and Talonflames, and secondly, the boosts are always nice. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and try to fish for that boost if we can. Yes, it's resisted, same with Dragon Claw, but I might as well just fish for the boost, right? Oh, we get it. Let's go. Giratina Altered getting a boost turns it into an absolute monster. Now, we still take a good amount of damage from Stone Edge, so we're going to go ahead and go for a Dragon Claw here, and unfortunately this isn't going to be enough damage in order to take it out, even with the boost. So we do see them swap now into their own Giratina Altered. So we're going to go ahead and shield and look to chip away the remaining health here with Dragon Claw and Shadow Claws. They only have 1 shield left. Now, we've already seen the Cobalion. It's very low. My guess is there's another Steel back there, so we try to swap to catch the charge move here, saving our Giratina Altered, saving our Charizard as well, which we still have on the back line, while resisting these moves. Now, it may not be a Registeel. It could be something else. This is just something common that I saw with Giratina Altered leads, was double steals in the back. So let's see what they decide to do. We're just going to go ahead and let these charge moves go through. I don't need a lot of health in order to win this game. Remember, Cobalion is extremely low. I think 1 double kick away, which is the fast move here. And we can go ahead and go for the Sacred Sword now to take it out. But something else I noticed with this team is it works very well when you can manage the energy and dance around with this team in order to win games, because the Ultra League, the Pokemon live a lot longer, and granted, look at that, it was a Registeel in the back, so we're going to go ahead and build up to double Sacred Sword just in case they have their switch clock coming up soon. I don't want to get hit with a fast move from the opponent's Cobalion, so we're going to make sure we can go for the back-to-back right away, and we do. Perfect. So this is going to be taking out the Registeel. There is still the opponent's Cobalion, and we're going to swap to our Giratina Altered to take that out now with Dragon Claw. So, started off with kind of a rough lead, right? Giratina Altered does pretty well against Charizard, but thankfully it does have Dragon Claw, but able to keep all 3 Pokemon alive with low health and a shield remaining. Good game. Alright, this time we have a Trevenant on the lead. This is very positive for us, but Trevenant still wrecks with Shadow Ball. Now we see a swap out into Cobalion. Again, this Pokemon is everywhere. It's probably one of the top performing Pokemon in the whole meta, and so many teams have access to it because it's just that good and versatile. Even in situations where we're resisting a lot of moves here, Stone Edge still does a lot of neutral damage. Now, again, in this situation, if you guys want to run Shadow Sneak or even Shadow Force, if you guys want to, but Shadow Sneak's probably a little more reliable, you're going to have a much better matchup here against Cobalion than I did. And I didn't want to come into the mirror, so what we're going to do excuse me, is just keep loading up on energy and look to take this mid game if we can, because I still should be able to apply a lot of pressure to Trevenant on the back end if I can farm down this Cobalion, but it's going to be extremely close. They actually decide to swap out, which is fine by me, because now I can just go for Dragon Claws. And again, like I said earlier, Shadow Force, or not Shadow Force, Shadow Sneak if you guys have it. But now we're going to swap back into Charizard, and this is the beautiful thing about this meta, is everyone's so bulky that you can just stay in a fight for a long time and then swap back out. So we're actually in a very good situation here, where we can force that final shield from our opponent. We still have our own Cobalion on the backside. They decide to let it go. We do see the Cobalion come in, so I'm thinking they're pretty weak in the back now to Charizard, so we'll have to see. I'm going to go ahead and shield the Stone Edge. We'll have to see if we can do enough damage with Dragon Claw here in order to take it out. I am a sitting duck right here if they can get to the Stone Edge in time, and that was not enough damage, but they swap out anyways into Wall Rain. So this is now going to be a tough situation. I can't swap out right now because I need Charizard to put pressure on them, and I also need them to dump some energy, because what I don't want to do is swap into Cobalion and then let them really farm up on energy, go for an Earthquake, and take us out. So now I got to come in with Cobalion. I got to try to catch the charge move if I can. I'm going to go ahead and go for Sacred Sword, and I think they're 2 Powder Snows away. That's what I'm counting. I'm like 1, 2, no, they were only 1 Powder Snow away, so I had a miscount right there, and this Earthquake is gonna hurt, but thankfully Cobalion is extremely tanky. I was happily surprised right there. I can safely go for another Sacred Sword, and remember, their Cobalion is still in the back, which means we can swap into our Giratina Altered and close this one out, so that is going to be a good battle, very well played. Alright. Moving into the next battle, we have Charizard on the lead versus Wall Rain. Okay, so another situation where I really don't want to switch out because the Wall Rain does so well against my Giratina Altered that I need to stay in with Charizard and kind of soft lose this one. So what I'm going to do here is go for the Blast Burn. It lands, so now I'm like, okay, I'm fine with Wall Rain dumping energy here, because what I'm going to do is they're going to go for back-to-back Icicle Spears, so I'm going to swap into my Cobalion to catch the next one because this is resistant, and that remaining health there on Wall Rain is enough for a Giratina Altered to handle. So we see them swap into their own Giratina Altered now, and here we go with resisted damage and Stone Edge. It's just going to be a back and forth, but this is what I saw today, and it makes a lot of sense. Both of these Pokemon are very strong in the meta. Now, my opponent here has, let's see, I think they have the Shadow Sneak, unless this was the Shadow Force one. Yeah, it was the Shadow Force. Boom! Oh my goodness, that did so much damage. And like I said, if you have a Shadow Force or Shadow Sneak one, you're going to do much better in this matchup than I was doing with resisted damage, but I could still handle it to an extent. Alright, so now we got to come in with our own Giratina Altered and load up on energy. If I can come out of here with just slightly under 50% or as close to 50% HP as possible, but enough energy to start forcing shields from Wall Rain, I think I might have a chance to win, because I have a feeling they have a Cobalion in the back. They may not, but let's see. Let's see what decides to come in. It's actually going to be a Cresselia. Okay, so this is going to be a tight race. Thankfully, we are doing super effective damage with Shadow Claw, and I really don't want to risk going for an Ancient Power right here because I know the damage from Dragon Claw will stack up over time, and the Ancient Power might be a waste. So I do decide to shield right there. I'm actually going to be forced to shield everything. Even if it is a Grass Knot, even though we resist it, we're going to be taken out. So I'm going for these Dragon Claws. I'm making sure I constantly have 2 ready to go just in case Wall Rain decides to come back in. And what I'm going to look to do here is swap into Charizard at some point. I'm going to go ahead and go for another one. And this is where I think I'm going to swap into Charizard to try to get ahead on energy. So we swap into the Charizard now. We go for the... Oh, I misclicked right there. I wanted to go for the Dragon Claw, but now we're going to be forced to shield this Moonblast. Now, we do see Wall Rain come back in, so we're going to go ahead and go for this Dragon Claw. And this is where I was saying it's just a back and forth of constant pressure. Alright, we take down the Wall Rain. The Cresselia is the only Pokemon left. It's going to be a race. We need to get 2 more Dragon Claws in order to potentially win this game. We get the shield. Can we get to the next one in time? No! 1 fast move away! But I still have my Giratina Altered. Come on! We resist, we get taken out by the Grass Knot. It's going to be a race. I get to the Dragon Claw in time. This is looking to be a good battle. Very well played. No! The Cresselia survives with 1 HP and a dream. My goodness, what a back and forth right there. Good game. Alright, So close. It's like, all I can say is Shadow Sneak would have done better for me. That's what I'm trying to put into you guys right here. But this is what I ran with, so I just wanted to make sure we try it out. All right, we got Talonflame on the lead. So this is actually somewhat of a decent matchup as long as I successfully shield the Brave Bird. Now what's also really cool right here for us is they swapped into a Giratina Altered when I have 2 Dragon Claws ready to go. So I'm just going to spam these things. This is free damage that I can put down, and my own Giratina Altered has Ancient Power for the Talonflame in the back, so I'm not too worried. Now, I decided to no-shield this. It is just going to be a Dragon Claw, which is good. I can go for another one right here, and this is a good amount of health remaining on Charizard, where I feel comfortable swapping out now into my Giratina Altered and looking to try to fully farm down. The damage that I'm going to be taking, or the hardest hitting damage left in this game, is likely going to be coming from that Talonflame, so I want to make sure I have shields for it. So we're going to go ahead and no shield everything right here. This does get us low, but we resist Incinerate from the Talonflame. So let's see what they decide to come in with. Let's see, it is going to be the Talonflame, so we're going to go ahead and go for the Ancient Power right here. This is so beautiful. It does so much damage. Look at it. Yes. Now they are going to go ahead and throw the first charge move, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and shield it, and let's see what they decide to swap in with. It is going to be a Cobalion, so my switch clock is not back up. So what I actually need to do is just chunk down the Cobalion right here with Shadow Claw and Dragon Claw. Do as much damage as possible, because in the mirror fight, Sacred Sword does not one-shot. It's like you need 2 plus the double kick damage in order to take it down. So I'm going to force them to throw energy right here in order to take me out. And this sets up my own Cobalion to have a lot better matchup. But I survive right there, and I'm able to get off another Dragon Claw, which is huge for me because this extra chip damage is going to be enough so that a Sacred Sword and Double Kiss can take it out. So we're going to go ahead and just come in. We're going to no shield right here. That Talonflame still has some energy, so I'm a little fearful of that. And as you can see, 2 Sacred Swords is not enough. We're going to go ahead and just let this next one go through. I'm anticipating them swapping into Charizard as well. So here it comes. Yep, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 double kick, swap into Charizard, and then farm down. I will give up a shield right here as well, because I can force the final shield from their Cobalion now with Dragon Claw, and they are now going to be forced to throw energy at me in order to take me out. They cannot fast move farm me down because I would get to another Dragon Claw in time. And now my own Cobalion has Sacred Swords loaded, ready to go. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. A nice back and forth right there, and this is kind of how the games went. They lasted so long. It's been a while since I've done Open Ultra League, because I've just been doing great. We've been doing Great League for like, what, 3 straight weeks? It's a nice change of pace. All right, Defense Form Deoxys on the lead. This is a tough one because Defense Form Deoxys can core break my Cobalion and Charizard. So what I need to do here is try my best to catch the charge move on Giratina Altered. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Blast Burn here. We get a shield, so I'm just going to go ahead and just time it. They've already had enough for a Rock Slide or Thunderbolt, so I was just trying to go at a random time in order to see, but they were building up a lot of energy. So we're going to go ahead and go for Ancient Powers here against the Mandibuzz. Obviously, if we get a boost, things get really solid for us, but Mandibuzz, the Flying Umbreon, is very deadly in the Ultra League because of its bulk and the coverage it can have against Giratina Altered, and also just doing generally a lot of neutral damage in the meta. Now, this game isn't looking too good. I mean, we do have ourselves shield advantage, so I'm going to look to leverage that with Charizard if I can. So I'm going to go ahead and get that Dark Pulse, try to go for an Ancient Power here. I want to try to force that final shield from them if I can. As it does do quite a bit of super effective damage. They decide to let it go. So now I'm going to go ahead and swap actually into Cobalion. I was trying to catch the charge move there to see if I could catch that Dark Pulse, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. Now, I draw back out the Defense Form Deoxys, which only can do neutral damage with Thunderbolt, thankfully, but those counters are going to start adding up. Now, having access to Stone Edge as well is going to do some nice neutral damage, but we have our Charizard that could potentially farm down, so we got to be very careful right here. Do I shield? Like, no, I gotta let it go. It is going to be another Thunderbolt, and we barely survive, so this is going to allow us to throw the Sacred Sword. This is going to be resisted, though, unfortunately, so they will survive. Now, I decide to come in with Charizard right here, I think. No, yeah, I decided to come in with Charizard, load up on energy, and I was looking to try to swap to catch the charge move right there, but now I'm going to be forced to shield. It is going to be a Psycho Boost, so that means they're going to swap out, and they do, into the Mandibuzz. And so the fact that they're doing these swaps, I'm like, there's got to be a steal in the back. There's got to be. So I'm going to go ahead and come into a Charizard and try to farm down, but they have 2 locked and loaded. This is so unfortunate, as that extra damage might have been able to change the pace for us. So let's see what decides to come in. It's going to be the defense form Deoxys, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the Dragon Claw. Now, they are very close to a Psycho Boost. In fact, I think they might have it right now, so I have to throw the back-to-back Dragon Claw in order to take it out, because that Psycho Boost would have knocked us out. And the final Pokemon is Registeel. Charizard, please. Please, dude. Blast Burn, come on. Come on. This is super effective damage. No, it's a minty. Oh, come on. Get to it, dude. Get to it. No. One fast move away right there from able to win this game. So that's a good battle to my opponent. A lot of back and forth and a very close end one. And I really set myself up. I think there was some slight mistakes I had in the middle there, but overall I think it was okay. All right, we got Alolan Ninetales here on the lead, so it's a positive lead matchup. We see Drapion come in, so we're going to go ahead and come in with the Cobalion. This is what's great about Cobalion, having that steel fighting typing, similar to Lucario, is we resist, right? We resist the Crunch, we resist the Poison Sting, we resist the Sludge Bomb. The only thing they can really do damage to us with is going to be Aqua Tails, which it doesn't look like they have. So I'm in a very good position where I can soft win this mid-game matchup against the Drapion and have loaded energy on the back end so I can go for a Stone Edge against the Alolan Ninetales. So let's see what they decide to do. They're going to go ahead and no-shield everything. That's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and fast move down as we do let this next Crunch go through. Thankfully, this is all resisted. This is beautiful. We almost have a Stone Edge ready to go, so this is perfect. And they bring in a Runerigus. Okay, so Sacred Sword and Stone Edge are both resisted, but the Stone Edge I feel like is going to be more damage per energy in this matchup, just because I think it's going to be single resisted, whereas the Sacred Sword is double resisted. So this is what I'm going for, to do as much chip damage as possible, and getting it to basically 50% HP is huge for us. Now I have to come in with Giratina Altered right here, and I have to no-shield. It's probably going to be a Shadow Ball. It's really going to hurt, but in order to win this game, it has to be on Charizard's back, so we do see them swap out, so I'm going to go ahead and come in with the Charizard now, and this is, in fact, a Charm Alolan Ninetales, so we're looking very, very good. We are safe to go for straight Blast Burns in this matchup. Boom! See ya, Ninetales! And in comes the Runerigus. Their only win condition was for to no-shield a Dragon Claw, basically. To have me try to bait them, but I knew, I'm like, with the charm damage, I could safely get to 3 Blast Burns right there. So we're going to go ahead and shield the Shadow Ball and just do as much damage as we can with Wing Attack as we do. I think, yeah, I decided to shield the second one. It is just going to be a Sand Tomb, which is fine. I have a charge move ready to go on my own Giratina Altered, so I'm going to be forcing the final shield now from Runerigus and then swapping out into Giratina Altered and going for the Dragon Claw in order to take it down. So that's going to be a good game, very well played. And like I said, this team, I had a back and forth. I didn't go like massive 5-0s. I didn't go, you know, 0-5. It was like a 3-2-2-3, just kind of back and forth learning the team. Granted, I think I got a lot better towards the end than I did at the beginning, but I just wanted to showcase some of the best battles that I had so you guys can get an idea for what this team is capable of. But I think all 3 Pokemon are very strong in the Ultra League, so if you haven't built them yet, this is going to be a good time to get them going, as they can interlock onto a lot of different Ultra League teams. And I was really impressed with Cobalion, and obviously the Wing Attack Charizard as well. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.